And that's the sort of life that I really wanted to live at my retirement and have my kids raised there, my grandkids come up and visit us. And that's what we're doing.
On a quiet lake north of the Pas in the wilderness of northern Manitoba, you can find a very content Alan McLauchlan.
I've got my boat in the front yard and I've got my skidoo in the backyard. And depending on the season, I take one or the other and we are gone out into the wilderness.
Alan is a long way from his childhood home in Port Hope, Ontario, east of Toronto, and he likes it that way. He's been an RCMP officer, a teacher, a politician. In fact, he was the mayor of the Pas at one point. He admits he's an A-type personality and always on the go. That's where photography comes in.
The camera slows me down and it makes me appreciate what we have and just kind of eases my mind and eases how I react to the world. I think that's the big benefit for me.
He also loves to show people what northern Manitoba has to offer. And that includes taking the 700-kilometer train ride north and visiting the polar bear capital of the world, Churchill.
And there was a mother polar bear and her two cubs, and they were eating on a walrus. The big male came in, and the mom went and had words with him and chased him off. And then the mom and the two cubs came down and to the water's edge, and we're in a boat. And they went and they washed themselves and washed the blood off themselves and sat there and looked at us. It was just a wonderful experience. Churchill, any Canadian who hasn't been to Churchill, they really have to go to Churchill.
Alan also thinks this is the perfect place to bring your kids, especially if they've grown up in a city.
We had 5 grandkids up this summer, and we were out on the boats. They learned how to quad, and we fished, and they caught minnows. All the stuff we used to do as kids, they get to do now. So we went out and started a fire in the bush, and they cut a tree down, and they went exploring, and that's what kids should do. And that's why I like living where I do, because kids can go out and be kids again.
So, is there any downside to living in northern Manitoba?
Well, that's the question everybody asks. We are in the boreal forest, so I would be lying if I said we don't have bugs here. We do have bugs.
And some of those bugs, like the wood tick, are new to the area. That's because, as Alan points out, with climate change, the winters aren't as cold as they used to be.
I remember back in the 70s when it would go down just before Christmas to minus 40, minus 45, and stay there for 3 weeks. Last winter, I don't think we hit 45 unless there was a wind chill. And of course, with that, we've got different animals that and bugs that are starting to go north.
Alan shares his experiences and stories on social media, giving the rest of Canada a glimpse into his piece of paradise.
I'm not a professional photographer, but I love this area that I live in, and it's nice to be able to share this area with people across Canada. I think people are really amazed that the country is this beautiful up here.